So thanks everyone for joining our TradersPost monthly webinar. We're going to cover a few different topics today. The first thing that I want to show is we made some changes to the URLs that TradersPost runs under. So if you click the documentation in the header here, you'll see this releases link here. You can click that link, and this gives you details about all the changes that we make to the TradersPost platform. So over the last several months, it's been a little bit quiet, but behind the scenes, we've been working on several different improvements to our infrastructure to improve scalability and reliability as TradersPost grows over the next 12 to 24 months. So the changes that we made were to change the webhook URL from the TradersPost.io domain name to webhooks.traderspost.io. So it's a really simple change. And here's a quick video that you can watch to see how you can make those changes in TradingView. Let's go back to the TradersPost website and let's navigate over to the dashboard here. And if you go to your webhooks, you'll see now that the webhook URL that gets generated that you can copy from is webhooks.traderspost.io instead of just traderspost.io. So the other thing that you will notice is that the application is also hosted under app.traderspost.io instead of under the root domain traderspost.io. So you as the end user don't have to really make any changes there. The application will automatically redirect URLs to the new URL. So all the old URLs will still work. And similarly on the webhooks URL, the old URLs will continue to work for at least the next month or so. And we'll make another announcement via email and Discord, etc., to let you know the specific date and time when the old webhook URLs will stop working. That's it for that change. So the other thing that I wanted to show, which we just made a video about it that will probably be published later in the next couple of days. Let me pull TradingView over here and get TradersPost up in the same view. All right. So I've already got a webhook set up and I've got that webhook and strategy connected to this paper broker. And I wanted to show you how you can actually use any line in TradingView or any indicator, or it could be a trend line that you manually draw or a horizontal ray. And you can tie alerts to those lines and send signals to TradersPost whenever the price crosses those lines. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy my webhook URL here. And I'm going to draw a horizontal ray. And I'm going to just put it on the chart. And I have some templates already saved here. So I'm going to create an entry line. And I'm going to add an alert. So I just right click that horizontal ray and click add alert. And I'm going to paste that webhook URL. Then I'm going to go over to TradersPost. I'm going to copy this JSON here. So this is the JSON payload of data that TradingView will send to TradersPost whenever this alert triggers. All right, so we've got that alert live. So if the price were to retrace back down, and this is in extended hours right now, but if that price were to retrace back down to here, it would trigger an alert and it would send that alert to TradersPost. And then TradersPost will send an order to your broker. So let's create one more line here. Let's create an exit line. Let's call it our target. And let's right click that line and add alert on horizontal ray. And TradingView conveniently auto completes the webhook URL with the URL of the previous alert that you created. So let's paste the same JSON in here, except since this is a exit, let's change the action from buy to exit. And let's create that. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to, obviously I can't sit here and wait for the alert to trigger for the price to actually legitimately cross those lines. So let's just drag the price up into the way of the alert, and let's see if we can get it to trigger. All right, so it triggered, and now let's navigate back over to TradersPost, and let's see what happened. All right, so because the market is closed, the signal was basically queued in the TraderSpost system so that the next time the market opens, it will DQ that trade and send it to the broker. So what I'm going to do for this demonstration to get this to submit is I'm going to unqueue this trade and I'm going to reject it. And I'm going to go back to our strategy subscription, and let's enable extended hours. And let's do bullish only, because you can only do one-sided only when you're doing extended hours. All right, so now this is updated. You'll see now that the example entry order and exit order are limit orders, and it's good until canceled plus extended hours. All right, so let's go back to our notifications. Let's just clear out our existing notifications to get a clean slate. And the cool thing about TradingView now is when I drag this alert and move it into a new position, when I let go of it, you'll see now that that alert is active again. So I'm going to move it again back into the way of the price, and let's get it to trigger again. So it triggered, and let's go look at TradersPost. All right, so now we got a limit buy for 377.92. And you'll see here, this is the log in TradingView where it was sent. So let's look at this trade. You can see it was auto submitted to the broker, and we entered a new bullish position on SPY. And let's compare. Look at this JSON that is in our log here. It matches the JSON that TradingView says it's sent to us. You can click the order row here to see the expanded details. You can click the order ID to see the details of the order. And then it's cross-linked back to the trade that executed that order. Additionally, TraderSpost has a full trading user interface here. So you can see that we have the open SPY position and the closed orders history, and open orders would also show here as well if we did have some open orders. So now that we're in this position, what do we do when we want to get out? So the price is moving up right now. So like in reality, like say, I think the price might go back up to these previous highs. Maybe it will, maybe it won't, but let's just move this alert back down here and put it in the way. All right, so it triggered, and let's refresh TradersPost here, and you'll see that we got a limit sell on SPY for 377.97. So we made 5 cents on the trade. We made around $1, a little less than $1. And if you click your alerts up here at the top right, you'll see the trade in your alert inbox, and you'll see that it was an exit. And let's view the trade. The trade was auto submitted. It was an exit open position signal. So it exited the bullish SPY position, and you can see the details of the order. It was an exit. Let's compare the JSON that we received on our end to the alerts log in TradingView, and you can see that everything lines up. And that webhook was sent to TradersPost instantly when that alert triggered in TradingView, and we sent an order to the broker as soon as we received that alert from TradingView. So the next thing I want to show you is what if you wanted to set it up as an automated trading strategy? So let's go over to TradingView. Let me make this a little bit bigger. And let's go to the TradersPost profile and click scripts. And my co-founder, Mike Christensen, he built this example high-low range strategy. Let's click that strategy. So I've already added it to my favorite indicators, and you can see the code here. It's a really simple example strategy. So now let's go back over to TradersPost, and let's see if I can remember how to do this. Let's get that indicator added to my chart. So we want to go to indicators and strategies, and it'll be under my favorites. Let's see, where is it? What was it called again? TradersPost high-low range. High-low range. All right. So let's star this so we can easily access it in the future. And let's just click it. And let's remove these other indicators first. All right. So we've got all these indicators removed. And we have the high-low range strategy on the chart now. So I'm running it on the 1 minute chart. Normally, you probably wouldn't run this on the 1 minute chart. You would have to test the different time frames to kind of see the performance. Mike says to try the 1 hour time frame strategy. All right, so let's move this to the 1 hour time frame. Yeah, that looks much better. So you can see that it has a 48.5% net profit, 51% profitable rate, a 50% drawdown, and a 1.264 profit factor. So again, this is an example strategy. You can click performance summary tab. That'll show you the more granular breakdown of all the stats for that strategy. Let's just close the sidebar to give us a little more room. Let's see. If you click the brackets right here, that will take you to the Pine editor. So you can see the source code. You could actually make a copy of this script and you could edit it, which is a really common thing that a lot of TradерSpost customers do. They'll go on tradingview.com and go to the community and look in the script section and find popular scripts. And you can browse through all the different types of scripts and get all kinds of ideas. Like everyone is sharing what they're working on in TradingView. So there's just a lot of different examples that you can use to kind of get started. It's not necessarily to, make $1 million right on day one. The goal is to just get something working, no matter if it's profitable or not. And that is a good way to get started and learn. That's the purpose, is to learn. And once you get that process started, you may have another idea. And because you have that foundation created, you can then go look at that code and modify that code to fit your idea into TraderSpost and get something set up. So we have this strategy on our chart now, and we're going to turn off extended hours. And you can see that this strategy actually went long today. Or sorry, no, that wasn't today. That was yesterday, October 3rd. So it went long yesterday. Let's just go back in time and look at some of the past trades that it's taken. So you can see here it went long and it got out here. So that would have been a slight small win. There we go. That one looks like a nice little win. It got in here on this candle after this nice big move here, and it closed the position here. Let's see if we can find another one. So this one got out here and it got in here. So that one looks like it might have been around break even, maybe a small win. And this one here went long here and got out here. So cool. So we can see that this strategy is producing entries and exits. So this is great for back testing, but what if I want to forward test it? What if I want to forward test it in a paper account? So we have the strategy on our chart. Let's click the alerts button in the right sidebar. And then let's click the create alert button. And from the condition drop down, you'll want to choose the strategy that you have on the chart. And let's do order fills only. And we've already got our webhook URL pasted in there conveniently. Thank you, TradingView, for auto completing the webhook URL with the URL of the previous alert. And what we're going to do is TradesPost won't understand what this means. This is kind of just free form text, and TradesPost needs a very specific structured payload of data that will tell TradesPost what TradingView wants TradesPost to do. Are we buying? Are we selling? Are we only exiting a long position? Are we exiting a long position and then immediately entering short? We need specific information in order for TradesPost to understand what TradingView wants us to do. So if you go to docs.traderspost.io and go to the TradingView page, and then scroll down to this section right here underneath strategies, we can conveniently just copy this JSON and paste it right in there. So you can see that it's specifying what's the ticker that we're trading, what is the action, so are we buying, are we selling, and the sentiment. Sentiment is basically, are we bullish, are we bearish, or are we flattening a position? So these variables get filled in automatically by TradingView. So when the alert triggers, if I have this alert set up on SPY, then this value right here will get replaced with the actual ticker value. And this variable will get replaced with buy or sell. And this variable will get replaced with long, short, or flat. TradesPost understands the language of long or bullish, or short or bearish. And then finally, flat. And flat just means that we don't want to exit the open position and then flip and open a new position on the other side. We only want to exit the open position and flatten our position. That's it. That's all we want to do. And then the quantity variable gets replaced with the number of contracts, or the number of shares that the strategy is telling us to buy. And then the price variable gets filled in with the close price, which is basically just whatever the current price is when the alert triggers. All right, so we've got that JSON copied. We've got it pasted into the alert message. Let's just give this a nice descriptive name. We'll call it the TradesPost high, low range strategy alert. And then everything looks good. If you wanted to have additional notifications, like if you wanted to be notified on your phone on the TradingView app, you could do that. You could have a pop-up show within the TradingView app on your desktop, and you could also have it send an email. So I'm not going to have these turned on here. So now let's click create, and now it's live. So as soon as we get another signal, it's going to send that signal to TradesPost, and TradesPost is going to translate that alert into an order and send that order to your broker. So because we're running this on the hourly chart, we're realistically probably not going to get a signal, but maybe let's try something. Let's see if we can get lucky. Let's change the time frame to, let's see if I can do this. 1 second. Let's see if we can get, let's see if this will work. So let's turn on extended hours. This is probably not going to work. Let's see. It'll be a fun exercise. All right. So we're on the 1 second chart. Yeah, this probably isn't going to work. The volume is really low. it basically just gets in and out immediately. People are laughing in the chat. Let's just do it anyways to see what happens. All right, let's copy this JSON again. And let's give it our name, TradersPost high, low range strategy. And let's go ahead and create it. Let's see what happens. Yeah, we're probably not going to be able to get anything. I don't want to have you guys just sitting here waiting. But we'll let this run. Maybe let's turn on the oh, I see. I did it wrong. I think we might have sent something to TradersPost. No. So let me exit this out. Let's see, what did I do wrong? Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't choose the strategy. That's what I did wrong. And let's go back to the documentation and paste that JSON and create. And let's see what happens. So Mike in the chat says the bars need to be larger. So try 15 seconds or 30 seconds. Yeah. It's probably not going to be able to generate a signal. I have to sit here all day long. But anyways, I think you get the idea. This will work for any TradingView strategy. It can work for any indicator, really anything. It does not matter. People will even build their own strategies in their own programming language and send those signals to TradersPost. So I can actually show you that really quick. So let me move TradingView out of the way here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull my coding terminal over here. All right, so I've got my terminal here and we pull over my coding editor. All right. Let me create a file called signal.php. And I'm going to use just a really simple, easy programming language called PHP to demonstrate. And let me open that file. All right. So I've got some existing examples here. All right. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go back over to TradersPost here. Make this a little bit bigger. Go to our webhook. Let's copy this URL here. And let's just put that webhook URL in a variable called webhook URL. And what we're going to do is just create a HTTP client, and TradersPost requires that you post to the webhook URL. You can see that in the documentation over here. If you click the webhooks page, you can see that you have to post. And if you expand this here, you can see basically all the supported parameters in the JSON and the different values that are supported. And the payload will look like this: SPY and action buy and price equals, let's see, what's the current price? 377.61. All right, let's see what happens. So now I've got this script that I've created, and let's execute it. And nothing happened. Hold on one second. Let's see. Get anything over here? We did not. Oh, wow. Look, actually, we actually got a signal from the strategy here while we were doing this. So it was on the 1 second. Okay, so look, it sent an exit signal here, but because we weren't in a position, it was rejected. But then it sent another long entry right here, and we're in a position now. So now we're in this position. It sent a signal to get in at 377. Oh, I forgot I didn't have TradingView here. So you can see that it sent a long entry right here. And it sent to buy a quantity of 26 at $377.73. And you can see that that's where it got in. And now it's probably going to send an exit signal at some point here soon. All right, let's go back to this and let's see. I'm going to turn this alert off now. Let's see if we can't get this custom coded example working. All right, so now we're in signal.php and that's what we're executing. So let's just, for sanity's sake, make sure that we're in the right file. All right, so we are. All right, so now let's send a signal to exit that SPY position. All right, so we got an error undefined variable URL, and that's because I named the variable webhook URL, but I'm referencing it as URL here. So let's just fix that, rerun it. All right, so TradерSpost received the webhook. It was successful. It outputs a little bit of information about that webhook request. So now if we go back over here to TraderSpost, you'll see that we are out of that position. And let's go to our webhook logs. And you'll see that we received that exit. And this is my IP address on my computer. Let's double check that. What is my IP address? 147.92, 147.92. So that all looks good. So now what I can do is we can send another buy, and let's execute this again and look at the logs, and we see another signal for a buy, and it triggered a trade. And now we're in a SPY position again. All right. Now we can get out of the position again by just changing it back to an exit. Now we're out of the position. So real simple example to just kind of demonstrate how TraderSpost is platform agnostic. It doesn't care if your signals come from TradingView or TrendSpider or your own local programming language. I've seen people build strategies and use tools like Zapier to relay signals from something like a Telegram chat or a Discord. And they send those signals to Zapier, and then Zapier can send those signals to TraderSpost. If you're using TrendSpider, it all is very similar. You can set up alerts in TrendSpider, and you can send those alerts to webhook URLs just like you can in TradingView. So it's really powerful, platform agnostic way to route signals for trading strategies and have those trading strategies trigger orders directly in your broker. So that's pretty much everything I wanted to cover today. I appreciate it, everyone. That'll be it for this webinar. We do these webinars monthly on the first Tuesday of every month. Thanks, everyone. Have a good one.